Many folks don't know the story of Premier. Premier Heating and Air was founded in 2001 with just a small group of people. Initially, Premier's handful of people went to work with a core value and set of principles based on a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. With one move in 2005 and then a leap of faith in 2010, Premier is now in its current location and now one of the largest heating and air companies in Middle Georgia. Still, every day our people walk through our warehouse doors and into the doors of your home with the same core value. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. Call Premier Heating and Air today and get your AC system checkup for just $49. Need a new system? Get up to $2,000 on qualified systems. Log on to dublin.premierishere.com. The choice is clear. Choose Premier. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Team Lawrence. I'm your host, Pat Brock, the Public Information Officer for Lawrence County Schools, and it is a great day to be a Falcon and a Raider. We've got our bass fishing team here. We've got state champions. We've got Coach Marsh here. He's going to tell you a little bit about the program, and we're going to have you segue to Ms. Washburn so that you can all tell us about this program, how it came into fruition, and how it has gone for its first inaugural year. We'll start with you, Coach.
Yes, ma'am. So I actually started out the program at Westside and brought it to a representative for the East Side. Ms. Washburn took the program over here at East Side. And with that, we had a situation where we had to take it through the proper channels. I had to go through Coach Jones, who was the AD, the building AD. He took it through Dr. Kemp. Then we pushed through the Board of Education. That department approved,
right.
And we started out this past fall trying to collect sponsors and donations to be able to help these kids get into the game and get to fishing.
For sure. Now, what made you decide that you wanted to start this bass team for Lawrence County Schools?
So, funny story there. Little skinny ankle freshman that kept talking to me on the football field. All about wanting a bass fishing team. And lo and behold, that little kid, he turned out to be pretty good, you know. He's went and won a few things, a couple places, so I pushed for it and we got it approved. His name's Ryan Souls. He's actually one of our state champions.
Very nice. Now, listen, I guess as a coach, you've got to be some type of fisherman yourself.
Well, I've done some the summer tournaments, night tournaments in Sinclair and Oconee. I've done a few things with some tournaments, not to the extent that some of the other individuals have that are involved, but it's more or less I'm just trying to be the liaison, right, and get the situation handled to put these kids in the best place for them to be able to succeed. For
sure, I love that. Now, Miss Washburn, fisherwoman, come hither. Tell me, how is it that you got involved, and how did that transpire into where we are today?
Well, I don't have such a pretty story like Coach Marsh does. I got involved because our previous coach had to leave the system in December. Right. Okay. And so whenever he left, I wasn't going to let these guys go without. And so I went to Mr. Burke and talked to him and volunteered to be able to help these guys because it wasn't fair for them not to be able to participate without a sponsor. So I came on board in January, and I'm not the fisher person. I do not know what I'm doing. I will be the first to admit, but we are learning together.
Look at that. And so here it is. You're thinking outside of yourselves. You're like, okay, these boys want to do this. Let's see what we have to do to make sure that it happens. And now talk to us about, all of the moving pieces, because of course you had to get it approved in order to have this program. But what about the other moving pieces? And then, of course there are other schools that you competed against. What was the season like? Like, how often did you compete, and what did that mean?
So as far as the external moving pieces that we have involved here is these kids have to have the ability, they have to have a boat, and it has to reach the requirements of GHSA. And as well with that boat, they also have to secure a boat captain as well as a partner. Okay. So it does come with a few, pretty dense things that they have to try and to get a hold of. They have to get a partner, the boat captain, the boat. They have to try and get all those pieces put together just to be able to have a team to put into this. Now, on outside of that, also the extent of the expenses that this kind of program takes it's been graciously donated to, and we have some wonderful sponsors that have taken care of us and put these kids in places to be able to succeed in the best way that we know how, and that's putting a rod in their hand and letting them go fishing.
For sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me ask you this. So is it a certain grade level requirement?
No, high school, 9 through 12.
9 through 12. You got to know how to fish.
Well, you know,
I mean,
they got to have a little bit of experience.
yes.
It's not necessarily, you know, Grandpa's Zebco 33 and a bobber out there. This is a true breakdown of a science for fishing.
Okay. I don't know what that meant, what you just said.
It's not,
sounded
it's not
good.
your basic little push button, okay? You got to really kind of have an idea of what you got going on.
I got you. Now, my father was such a fisherman. He loved to fish. And my husband, of course, as well, being a Floridian, he loves to fish as well. And so here it is. For one, they've got to have a love for it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And now, was it difficult for you, or was it easy for you to get young people involved?
It was very easy. We had 4 boats. We had 9 fishermen on our team. So we had the kids that wanted to do it and wanted to participate in this, and we hope to have more even next year.
And now, do you have any trials or tryouts that you have to do for this?
So currently, right now, there is no trial or tryouts.
Okay.
At the extent, GHSA only accepts 6 boats per regional tournament.
Okay.
So at the event that we reach more than 6 boats, at that point we would have basically a tournament within our school to determine who would get to go fish in those 6 slots.
Now, is there a certain time frame that you're able to fish? What is the season like? What does that look like?
Our season ranges from January to May.
Okay.
One tournament a month. It's normally every 3 weeks that we have a tournament. And then also, if you reach May is the state championship. So if you qualify at a region tournament in one of the first 4, you'll get to fish the 5th one.
For sure. Now, when you talk about these qualifications, when you qualify to go to what level, what are those?
Just regional tournaments, the once a month that qualifies you to go to state.
And for these tournaments, where do you all go to compete?
We would venture anywhere from the furthest most southwest corner of Georgia, being Lake Seminole, up the Chattahoochee River chain to West Point, as well as go over and fish the Savannah River chain, being Clarks Hill and Lake Hartwell.
Right.
Outside of that, we did have a February regional qualifier, which was at Lake Oconee, which would be considered more along our home lake, being that it's only about 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes away.
And so with this being a GHSA sanctioned sport, how many schools in our region are there?
So as far as regions go, we don't actually have a defined region. This sport is a sport that runs across all qualifications from 7A to single A, double A. Really? So it's a venture for all schools. It's not divided into a regional area. Our previous high school region has some teams that do have teams. I believe Perry has some veterans. Washington County, Wheeler County, Jeff Davis.
Jeff Davis as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Swainsboro. As I'm looking around this room, I see a lot of parents and family members here. How big a support do you get from the parents, or how big of a support do you need from parents?
Oh, we had great support from our parents. They traveled with us. They went with us to support their kids. Our boat captains were mostly parents. So we had wonderful support from each of our parents and our families going.
And so we really want to make sure that our students are aware of this so that, you can get more of that participation, because some who may not know about it, this is definitely the opportunity for them. What is it that you want to say in order to really get more participants for your next season? Or is there anything you'd like to say?
As far as getting participants for next season, I think the biggest thing that we could do as far as advertisement is we went out and capitalized on a situation, and were able to, by God's blessing, we were able to secure a state championship. Sure. And any way that you can get reach a set of kids that you might not primarily reach through football or baseball or basketball, we have the opportunity to be able to reach those kids, and then also they can still be recognized as state champions in the future.
For sure. I love that. I'm trying to tell you. And what about you? What do you want to say in order to really solicit that support and get other kids involved?
One of the things I noticed is some of the other schools and the colleges and stuff really look at their GPA. And so we want good kids that are good student athletes that are there, and that's something I say for both schools. They are very good. Our anglers are very good students. First, they're not your troublemakers and things like that. They are truly good kids that are out there that are interested in another sport that hasn't been offered until now. So we want those good kids that maybe aren't interested in athletic things, that they can see this as a different avenue that they are interested in going in, instead of going out there in the heat and running up and down a court or a field or something. This is another avenue that they can explore for college opportunities and stuff.
I love that. I love that. And congratulations to you guys, state champions. What does that feel like for you?
To be honest with you, it's very surreal. Being able to experience a situation like that is just it's an astronomical feat in itself, just by the odds of what it takes to reach a state title and then also win a state title in this sport, because you're not battling another human being where you might possibly be able to read them. Right. You're battling the elements. You're battling an animal that is not this. You have to trick that animal. So it's an astronomical feat to be able to win a state championship to start with. But in an inaugural season, I just think that's world class to be able to secure that in the first year that it's opened up.
For sure. And you've got how many, is it called anglers? Is that
Yes,
what
ma'am.
that is? How many do you have?
We have a total of 4 at West Lawrence. We have 2 boats. One of our state champions are Ryan and JT Brooks, and then also Cannon Dykes and Avery Dobbins. They're my other boat, and they're very, very well versed as far as angling as well.
All right. So we're gonna speak to them in just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
And for you, give us an after-action review about how this season went and how you had to take over to make sure that these young men did not miss out. How would you say this season went, and what things are you making sure you're going to work on?
I'm very pleased with how the season went. When we went down to Bainbridge, I had one goal, and that was for them to get on the water and get off the water. I didn't care if we caught fish or not. That was a bonus. And so I can say our guys, they were able to, in Bainbridge, we didn't catch anything, which was fine. But as the season progressed, every one of our boats ended up walking across the stage. And so I was very pleased with that. That showed growth. And I'm proud of our West team being state champions. I was very, very excited for them. But as long as we continue to grow and they continue to work hard, we'll get there. And that's all that matters. And
you got several young men who love this sport, and so you got a lot to work with there.
Yes.
Now, are you going to stick with it, or are you going to get someone else to?
No, I'm here.
You got it.
I love it.
Yes, ma'am. I love that. Girl power. Thank you so much, Miss Washburn.
Thank you.
You and I go back, way back. And congratulations to you, Coach. We're going to get to now talk with the students here and just hear from them about what this experience has been like for each and every one of them. Thank you both so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Century 21 Durden Carnegie is here to help buying or selling a home convenient and as simple as possible. Call on agents Brian Howell, Charlene Lamp, Adam White, David Deeves, Jennifer Bradley, Mark Bateman, Kim Thompson, Pamela Lee, Edie Webb, Jay Brantley, Jim Jarrett, Raina Dubberly, Yvonne Robertson, or broker George Durden. Century 21 Durden Carnegie Realty has been helping people just like you buy and sell a home in the Dublin area for generations. Our local knowledge and negotiation skills can guide you on the path to your dreams. Century 21 Durden Carnegie. Call 478-272-1535. Stop by our office on Veterans Boulevard or log on to c21dublin.com.
You ready to meet the latest addition to the family? The money you saved us with auto owners helped make it all possible. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excuse me?
Third best thing. Third best thing.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Curry Maffin Insurance in Dublin and Augusta if auto owners make sense for you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with our East Lawrence Falcons. We're going to let them share with us who they are, things that they're involved in here in school, and we're going to talk about their experience with the bass fishing team. We'll start with you here, Mr. Beltbuck. How you doing, son?
Pretty good. How are y'all?
Doing well. All right, share with us. Talk to us.
My name's Hunter Welsh. I'm in 9th grade, and I'm involved in FFA and bass fishing.
And you like to hunt?
Yes, ma'am.
No. And what's your name?
Hunter Welsh.
Of course. Your name's Hunter. Now, so, Hunter, here it is. Now, how did you hear about this bass fishing, and what made you decide to want to be a part of it?
Well, over the summer, my cousin Jacob Aldridge, he's my partner, and he came to me asking me if I wanted to fish, and I didn't know anything about it, but I told him that yeah, and whenever he got any information about it, then I'd sign up with him.
Really? So, how is this? I guess this season, how did it go, and what did it entail for you?
It went pretty good for us. I mean, the first tournament we didn't catch any fish, and it was freezing cold, but it was fun. I mean, we were on the water, we were fishing. That's all we wanted to do.
And so how do you do well? I mean, is it you have to catch a certain amount of fish or certain size fish?
Well, we get to keep 5 fish, and there's a length limit on them, so they've got to be a certain length to keep them. And it's just the 5 biggest fish that we get to weigh in.
Really? And what do you fish with?
We fish with all things from crankbaits to wacky rigs.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but you do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Hunter, thank you. All right, son, talk with us. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm Tyler Barwick. I'm in 11th grade, and I like hunting, fishing, and hanging out with my little niece and nephew.
Look at you. I bet you the sweetest uncle. You got them spoiled. You got them spoiled, Tyler. So here it is. Are you involved in any other extracurricular activities here at the school, or is the bass team what you do?
I play golf and tennis.
Oh, you're a golfer and tennis player. All right. So so when you heard about this bass fishing team, what was your initial response, and why did you decide to take part in it?
My initial response was, I think it'd be fun. Me and my grandpa love to go fishing, so it was one of them things that I figured I would do good at.
And so, since this is new for our district, we're trying to, for one, generate interest for other young people, but also for them to get an understanding about this. And so here it is. How many's on your team?
8.
So there's 8 on your team. You now they said you have to have a boat. So explain this to me. You have to have a boat captain.
Yes, ma'am. My dad's mine and Jacob's boat captain, and you have to have 2 people in a boat, and then an adult that gets to drive it.
Okay.
So we've got 4 boats and 2 people per boat, and then, 3 boats, 2 people fishing in it, and then a backup.
And so how rough does the weather get for you all? I mean, do you fish in the rain or?
Yes, ma'am. From the first tournament, it was to the point I just wanted to curl up in a ball.
You kidding me?
And get in front of the heater. It was raining and windy and
cold.
Yes, ma'am.
And y'all still out there fishing?
You got to do what you love.
Oh, my God. So when you think about this season, when you look back on it, what has been the highlight for you? And is this something you'd continue?
Yes, ma'am. I love it. I would do it every day if I could.
Look at you, Hunter.
But the last tournament was probably my favorite tournament. We all but one boat got to walk across the stage, and we came in with 7 pounds and 8 ounces. So that was pretty good for me and my buddy. But
what's been a low life? What's been low for you? What's been a low point?
The first tournament, it was freezing. That was probably the worst fishing conditions I've ever been in.
And so, how do you dress? Do you have, uniforms that you wear?
Yes, ma'am. We got a fishing team jersey with all our logos on it, and then it has the EO with the hook through it. It definitely helped out because it has a hood and it's a little thick, so it helped out with the weather.
But you had to have that on. You couldn't have on anything else.
We had a jacket too, and you could have it on, but you had to have something on representing your team.
But you two almost didn't make it.
It felt like we were going to.
But you did, Hunter, you did. And so we want to, what would you say to other students to kind of really to gear up, to get them interested in this sport? What would you like to say to them?
It's amazing. I mean, being out there, just being with people you like to be with and hang out with and just fishing.
And fishing.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's your pitch?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's your pitch, Tyler?
I think it's great, and I think that it's good for people to be out there with their buddies and be in God's creation and be able to see what He created and how good He is at it.
I love that. You know, depending on the weather, I might need to go out there with y'all. How big is your boat?
It's a 3-person boat. So.
Oh, no, thank you. Never mind. We're so proud of you guys. Thank you for sharing with us today. And, you know, this is a great program here for East Lawrence, and we're excited that you all are part of this team. Thank you, Tyler.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you, Hunter.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Brian Bazemore, President and CEO of Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County. We would like to invite you to come by and experience a welcoming banking environment. Come by today and have a cup of coffee and let us talk with you about our many products, savings accounts, checking accounts, CDs, and our many loans. You're more than just a number to us, you're family. Come by today, Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Brandy, and I would like to invite you to experience our newly renovated mammography suite at the Fairview Park Hospital Breast Center. Our breast center has its own dedicated entrance with a relaxing boutique-like waiting area. You can make your appointment online anytime at fairviewparkhospital.com or by calling 478-274-3919. Most appointments take 30 minutes or less, and we will have your results back to your doctor within 24 hours.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at 2 state champions who came out of the gate the first season of our bass fishing team, and they bring home the hardware. Congratulations to you, fellas.
Thank you.
We'll start with you. We'll let you introduce yourself, talk to us a little bit about you and what this program has done and meant for you.
I'm James Brooks, and what really kind of got me interested in it is I've always been interested in fishing. And when I spoke with Coach Marsh, interested about baseball in first, and then he talked about how they had a bass fishing team and all that, and that kind of sparked interest in me because I've always loved to fish and everything. And before that day ended, I told him I was going to fish.
Just like that?
Yes, ma'am.
So, like, whether you were on this bass fishing team anyway, you are a fisherman.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you consider yourself pretty decent?
I wouldn't say pretty decent. I'm all right.
Well, you're a champion, son, so you got to ease up off that a little bit. And so, you know, when you're out there fishing, I mean, what all do you fish with?
Just whatever the fish are biting, you just got to figure it out. I mean, there's just a lot of different things.
How do you know?
Like sometimes the seasons depend on like if like brim are bedding or like the shad spawn or anything like that. Like the fish, you just kind of follow where the fish are going and stuff like that.
You're kind of like the fish whisperer, aren't you?
He is. That's not me.
Oh, this is the fish whisperer. Thank you, James. Hello.
Hey.
Talk to us, son.
So I'm Ryan Souls. I'm in 11th grade. I've been fishing for about as long as I can remember. I started competitive bass fishing about 13 years old and started fishing tournaments. But
what?
Yes, ma'am. So
now, Ryan, where did you go to these tournaments? Like, was this something that was on your own because it wasn't school related?
Yes, ma'am. So I had to do it all on my own. I mostly fished against adults. I fished a few youth tournaments, had some success with that, and transferred over and started fishing against adults and done that for about 2 or 3 years until we heard that the high school was going to be getting a team and fished that this year. Yes, ma'am. I was excited.
Oh my God! Now, so who else in your family fish? And is it like a family thing for you all?
So my dad never really fished growing up. I really loved it ever since I was little. I used to go pond fishing and stuff like that, and I started dragging him with me a little bit, and he started to gain interest in it. And it was really a me and him thing, and me and him really done it all together and learned together, and really owe a lot of it to him as well.
So you all fish in lakes,
yes, ma'am.
right? And so you've been fishing for a long time. So you're the fish whisperer. So you know exactly what it takes, right?
I wouldn't say it's not that simple. It's really complex, but the more you do it, the more you're gonna get better at something. So
a person like me, like I used to fish. Not like what you guys do.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? I don't like to touch, slimy stuff. But either way, okay? I used to fish. My dad, family members love to fish. But it's like you've got to really love it to be able to compete at the level that you all do.
Yes, ma'am. It can be some long days out there. I know state champ, it was pouring rain on us all day from 6-something in the morning all the way till past 1:30. It was pouring rain, so you got to love it.
So you guys won the state championship in the pouring rain.
Yes, ma'am. It was pouring rain, thundering, lightning, about all you could imagine there.
So, guys, this was like the Gilligan's Island thing, but y'all, the ships was sailing the water, but you persevered. Now, were you used to this kind of thing though? Is this something you were already used to, or you had to condition yourself?
I had to condition myself. I usually never fished in the rain, other than like little rain, but this was really heavy thunderstorms and stuff.
Oh my gosh. How did you do, Fish Whisperer?
I've fished in so many tournaments. We've about gotten used to it, but we were prepared for the situation, and it was rough, but we just tried to stay focused throughout it.
And so for you all winning the state championship, so was it a certain amount of fish or the size of the fish that brought in the trophy?
It was more of the size, but I mean, you had to have 5 because 5 is probably the limit. But it was more of weight because I mean, we had a good bag of weight, but it was mostly weight.
And so how long does that normally take?
It just depends. Sometimes it can take all day, and sometimes, I know during the championship, we had the weight we had by about 11 o'clock, which is really early for bass fishing. It usually takes about all day.
And what time do you start?
We blasted off at, I think, 7:30 that morning. So we were up about 5:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh, my God. So now, of course, with Lawrence County Schools, there's only males in the, I guess in the tournaments and stuff. Do you ever see any female fisherwomen?
There are a few. It's not as common as males, but there are some females that do it, and there's some that are really, really good at it too. So.
And so here it is, you guys, first inaugural season brought home the state championship. I saw the picture. I said, what in the world? That's what I first thought. And I'm zooming in, not knowing what was happening, baby. But I was like, this is exciting. How did you all feel when you all won?
Really nervous at first, thinking we weren't going to win. But after we won, it was exciting, but it really didn't hit me what we did until later that night.
Oh, my gosh. So now, when you're in these tournaments, are the boats close to one another, or you like have your own little, you have your own little fishing spot?
So when we blast off in the morning, all the boats are right there together, and they call you draw a random boat number, and they call your boat number, and you blast off. And we were fishing on Clark's Hill, and Clark's Hill is the biggest freshwater reservoir in the state of Georgia. It's massive. So we've seen a few other high school boats that day, but we didn't fish really around anybody all day.
So you could be so far.
Yeah, you couldn't be. I mean, it probably took us 40 minutes to get to our starting spot that morning, running 70 miles an hour across the water, so it takes a while.
I'm slightly intrigued.
Yes, ma'am.
I love this. And so here it is, you're state champions, and we want to make sure that we promote this program to where it draws interest for other young people to want to be involved, because I know there's a lot of people that like to fish at West Lawrence. So this is your moment, okay, to give your spiel about this program and wanting others to be involved in it.
Well, fishing is really fun. If you've been doing it a long time, you love it. But you get to meet a lot of really great people. I met Ryan. I never knew Ryan before we, started fishing together. But now me and him are really good friends.
I love that. Okay, and so it brings about friendships, and it brings out the love that you have for fishing, and that competitiveness too. All right, Fish Whisperer, give your spiel.
I'd say the memories you make, amount of memories and people you meet, it's incredible, and you obviously get to get out of school for a day or two. So
okay, so
that's always a plus too. So
it is a plus. And so for you all, is bringing back, it's building those memories, the friendships, and also continue to compete in a sport that you truly love.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, listen, congratulations to both of you. This is huge. I mean, state champions that first go at it. That is quite impressive. Yes. Where do you go from here, though, now, Fish Whisperer? Where do you go?
So when we done well at the state championship, we qualified for the Nationals. The Nationals are going to be on Hartwell Lake this June, I think 20th, and there'll be over 400 boats in that, and that'll be the 400 best anglers in the nation, and there'll be kids coming out of other countries and stuff like that to come fish it. So.
And where is this located, though?
Lake Hartwell, South Carolina. It's South Carolina, Georgia line.
Wait a minute. So you all are going to Nationals. Are you nervous?
Yes, ma'am. Real nervous.
I guess so. I mean, we'll see what happens.
So are all of these all state champions coming together?
Some of them will be state champions, and some of them will qualify through national open level events and stuff like that. But to qualify for nationals, you have to know what you're doing a little bit.
So you two are the ones that qualify for nationals.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what you're doing. You've already won a state championship.
Yes, sir.
So no pressure. Go to the nations, right?
Yes,
and bring back that national title.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with both of you. We're so proud of how you represent West Lawrence and Lawrence County Schools so well. I mean, this is a new sport here for Lawrence County Schools, but it is a great sport. And if you do love fishing, feel free to meet up with some of these state champions or some of the, the sponsors to find out more about it, because we would love to have you join them. Right, fellas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, so we've done it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all the time we have here for Team Lawrence, where we continue to grow great students.